Hey everyone, and welcome to another video. I am Candace, welcome, and today I wanted to do a business series slash Etsy series on how I make my stickers because I have been getting some questions for paper and all that good stuff, so I hope you enjoy this and let's get right onto the video.
The first thing that you're going to want to do is come up with a theme. So mine is a winter theme, and I just go about making a rough layer of all of the elements that I want on my sticker sheet. I like to also do this with a blue pencil just because of working with a Col-Erase background in animation. After that, you want to make a new layer on top of your rough. I usually make my rough half opacity so that I can see over top of it. And on my new layer, I like to use a monotype brush, something that's a clean line, and I will draw over top of my rough. I like to make a new layer underneath my line layer, and that is that purple color that you see there, and that is what I will use as my masking layer. From there, I will just make my fill color like what you can see there, and I will make sure that everything above this layer, when it comes to lights, shadows, or my fill color, I will always set to clipping mask, and the way that you do that is just double tap on the layer to select whatever type of layering system you would like. From that, I like to double tap on my line layer, and what I will do is set this to alpha lock, and I like to start with a darker brown color, as you can see there, so that will be my outline that I cover everything with. And then with this style that I'm going for right now, what I like to do is the outside layer is this dark chestnutty brown, and then everything on the inside will take on a darker color of what the color that already exists is. Like I was saying, I like to leave my outside layer, so I will only fill the inside here. I'm going to be resizing everything just so that I can be able to do outline layer, my cut layer. Double tap on white. You're going to want to use another calligraphy mono brush for this. I find works the best. Go into calligraphy and select the monoline brush. Turn the streamline up all the way, then that brush will work perfectly fine for this. What I do is I make a new layer, and this will be underneath my clipping masks, so underneath my purple layer that I had made. Go over top everything. There are other ways to go about this, but I want to practice getting better with my line consistency, so that's why I like to do it myself. Now I like to turn off my masking layer and just making sure that I have filled everything inside my cut line layer. So you're just going to drag from your color into all of the pieces to make sure everything's filled up, and then I like to turn on my mask layer again just so you can see everything. And now it is time to put in some highlights. This is only if this is something you want to do. Again, we're going to click on the layer and make sure that it is a clipping mask, and then from there I also like to set the mode of the layer to be multiply, and I like to choose a light pink color. I also have a demonstration of how to do this already on this channel, so I'll make sure to link it so you guys can see it. I just throw in where I think I would like some shadows to be, you know, underneath the cup, on the one side of the cup, on the one side of the mitten, inside the teacup. From there we're going to make another layer, and this time it's going to be set to soft light, and I will double click in the top right corner of my color wheel to get perfect white. And then from there I like to throw in a little bit of highlights and rim light. You're just going to want to go through and add in some touches if you feel like throwing in some light like I do here. Now we're going to bring it into Photoshop. Now we have our image that we're going to be turning into our sticker sheet. And I'm going to do this in Photoshop because this is what I feel most comfortable in, but there are definitely tons of other software you can use that are free. I am using CS6 just so everyone is aware, because I know some people will probably have the newest version. Some of the tools might be a little bit different. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a new file. So we're going to say new, and I am going to have this 1050 by 1500. And obviously you want to make sure your resolution is at the highest most you can possibly have it. So I like to put it at 300 DPI. And the other thing I wanted to mention is that I make 4 stickers to a sheet. So I did want to have you guys keep that in mind, because I know that some people may want to have only 2 stickers to a sheet or something like that, and that's totally fine. But for what I'm doing, this is what I will be showcasing. I like to have the rounded side. What you want to do is grab the rounded rectangle, which the hotkey is U, and you want to make sure you're clicking on it, and you can hit it usually sits on rectangle tool. What we're going to be using is the rounded triangle tool. You're going to change your radius to 50 so that it will make a little bit nicer of a shape. We're just going to go from the top corner here and bring this down all the way to the edges of your workspace. At this point, you can just double click, set this as a new layer, and then we can just delete the original first layer because we don't need it. And as you can see, the edges are still rounded. The next thing I like to do is figure out where you want your header and footer for this. I like to have a little spot up top here and then a little spot down below. I like to just figure this out by grabbing my ruler, and you can just hit R to open up your ruler, because I think it's very valuable to have this open anyways, so that you know the general size that you want for everything. I like to have everything on separate layers just so that everything is easy for you to change the next time you want to change your sticker sheet, because I've seen other creators not showcase this, and it really bothers me because you want to have your general template so that you can always use your background over and over and over again. So that being said, we're just going to create a new layer and choose whatever color you want to be your header and your footer. And that's just what I'm calling it, just for, you know, the sake of this tutorial. I'm gonna choose blue because blue is my favorite color. I've got the rectangle marquee tool selected, and I'm just going to do just marquee around the top, and I'm going to hit G and then fill that in. But don't worry that it's not following our rounded edges. I will show you how to correct that in a second. So we're going to make another layer here, and we're going to grab our marquee tool again and just select our bottom area here, and we're also going to fill this in. The way that we're going to get this to follow our rounded rectangle tool and deselect so that you can see what I'm talking about. So first we're going to deal with the top portion here. So literally all we're going to do is take the head and say create clipping mask. Do you see how now it's taken on the shape of what we had here previous? And then with the foot, this can be reused again. Add in some text. So I'm going to add in my basic text. If you want to resize something, it's quite easy. So we have our head selected here, and then you just want to hit Control T, and if you hit the Shift button, uniformly scale for you. Just a little tidbit there. This is whatever kind of look you want for the top of your sticker sheet, but what I like to do, and I will also toss this in its own folder just so that all of this gets really easy to use. I like to have things in separate folders, so top text, as you can see. So we're going to call this winter. If you want to add something to its own layer, literally all you need to do is just hit the different controls you want and hit Control G, and that will group it, and then you can rename the group. The problem with adding everything to a group is it moves in one piece. So what you want to do if there is something within the group that you would like to move is literally just grab the actual layer and you can move it at your wish. I just took a watercolor brush in Procreate that I really like to create this little watermark design behind whatever my title is, and I like to generally, I'm kind of loving this color scheme, how it's slightly different like this. But let's say you want to make sure, again, that this is something that you can always adjust at future times. You just need to find that layer. So we're just going to call this Mark. And so what you're going to want to do is create a new layer. And again, all we want to do here, and see what happens if you click in the wrong spot, you get blending options and all these kinds of things. So what you want to do is select the side, create clipping mask, and then again, just choose whatever color you want for this. I'm going to choose something that'll stand out so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So you just want to select your brush tool, so either B or your brush tool right here. And I'm going to scale my brush tool up. It's going to be the bracket sign. And so just make it nice and big. And look at that. Now I can change it to whatever color I want. It will sit here. You can turn it off and on, but this is how we get this to work. I'm just going to close this because we're done with everything at the very top. And now we're going to deal with everything at the very bottom. This is something that I add to every single time I make a new sticker sheet. I have just went on the internet. Actually, let me make a new layer here so you guys can see what I'm talking about a little bit better here. For these images down here, literally all I did was found some Twitch image, a Instagram image, and then I created my own little image here for YouTube. And let me explain why. A great way to customize your sticker page so that everyone knows where they can find you. The worst thing you can possibly do is not tell your community where to find you. And this is a great way to showcase, hey, I'm on all of these platforms and go check me out. Literally, I just took a image of YouTube, and then what I wanted to be able to do was keep my play button. I have the lasso tool selected at the polygon lasso tool, and then I went around the play button. I just made a new layer, and all you need to do is just fill it. I hit G, and I already have white selected, and then boop, we have added in the white colors. So if we deselect this and move it out of the way, look, we made a little triangle. So this is literally what I did so that I can change the back color of the YouTube logo without changing little play button. So if I turn the play button back on, you can see it's a little bit bigger, but that doesn't really matter. And then here I made a new layer, and I literally use this all the time. A different color so I can showcase this. Again, we're just gonna pick purple because it's nice and simple. And B for brush, boom, look at how easy it is to just change the color of everything you have in your background to suit what color scheme you want to go for your sticker sheet. And I just love the idea of being able to reuse. And then I'm going to drag and drop all of this into this layer. And literally, yeah, so I did the exact same thing. So look, for the Instagram logo, I was only able to find one that came multicolored at the time, but I didn't like it. So I literally just created another layer and made it a clipping mask, and then it's white and I don't have to worry about anything else. And same with the Twitch logo because it comes purple. So I just wanted to make it white. Now comes the fun part of dragging all of our images from here into our Photoshop file. What we're gonna do here is, because I always alpha lock my line art because I always like to have a different outline color on everything. So we're just gonna unlock that. And so what we're going to do, we don't need our roughs, that's not important, but what we want to do is merge all of our layers together aside from the background. What we're going to do is select the cut line all the way up to our outline, and we're just going to right click and say merge layers. And then from here comes the very tedious task of either using your marquee tool. Once you select it, what you need to do is hit V and then pull it over into our file like this. You also just want to make sure that you're not in your group layer there. Or the other way you can do it is with the lasso tool, and then you just lasso around your image and then V again and drag and drop like this. I will come back on once we have finished adding in all of our images like this. All right, we are back. If your sheet looks anything like mine, do not fret. Everything is totally fine. Again, you want to make sure everything is above the groups that we've made. And from here, what I like to do is I make a new layer at the very bottom like what we had earlier, and I always keep this here so that I can turn it on. Just remember to turn it off before we start saving this out. We're going to turn this layer on, and it's just our fill color, and we're going to turn off our rounded rectangle so that we can actually see what's going on down below. And the reason why I like to have my ruler down at the top and the bottom like this is that I know where my cutoff is for my header and my footer. From here with your move tool, or if you hit the hotkey V, now we can start grabbing things and moving them around. If you select things and it's not selecting the right thing, all you need to do is hit auto select on. So what I like to do at this point is just hit Control T, and we're gonna just start scaling everything down just so that we can visually see everything. So just hit Control T and then hold Shift, and then scale this accordingly, and then move it, and then just hit enter is all we're looking to do at this point. Keep in mind, you can't have something like this because you want your Cricut to be able to cut around the sticker without interfering with the other stickers. So just to make sure that nothing is touching, things can be relatively close together. I like to leave a little bit of space personally, but again, whatever you feel comfortable with is totally fine. So now it's time to arrange all of our images on our sticker sheet the way we would like it. Now let's say you want to take some of your images here and duplicate them. The easiest way is hitting Alt, and voila, you get a duplicate of whatever it is you're looking to duplicate. So I like to add little embellishments that will be added into our background. That is definitely not something you need to do, but for my purposes, I wanted to showcase how you can add something into the background that actually won't get cut. At this point, I'm going to turn off my fill color and turn back on my rectangle so we can see what this looks like once everything is added in, and you can kind of get a sense of what your sticker sheet is going to look like. And then you can just move things around, and then again just, you know, toggle on and off your background layers just to make sure everything is looking nice. From here, again, make sure your fill background layer is turned off and you have your round rectangle turned back on. And what we're going to do is, I'm just going to hit Control S to save because I've already saved this once before. We want to just make sure everything gets saved. We've got to find where all of our little embellishments are here. We're going to need to group them. So that's all of our little embellishments, as you can see. I'm going to move this down below here, and then we're going to grab all of our stickers, so all of these, and we're going to also group this, and we'll just call them stickers. At this point, what we're going to need to be doing is saving out a PNG of the background sticker sheet and the stickers separately. So first I'm going to do the sticker sheet because that's going to be easiest. So literally I just turned off the sticker layer that we created. So Control Alt S, and I am going to make this a PNG, call it Winter Wonderland BG. Okay, we're good with that. Now we're going to turn on our stickers and turn off everything else so that you can see the little checkerboard behind. Again, hit Control Alt and S, and we're going to make this another PNG main stickers. So we're just going to save it like this, and boom. So let's say you come back to this image later and you want to change anything. Remember, it's really easy. All you need to do is just select the layer that you've had before, and let's say it's the purple you want to fill your head and footer. All you need to hit is G and then fill that color, and then hit the foot and fill that color. I've made this super easy and hopefully something you guys can just update. Again, all of these separate layers, nice and easy. From here, we're going to be bringing everything into the Cricut design space, so I'll meet you guys over there. All right, so there are two ways you can launch Cricut Design Space. One of them, loading it on a web browser, which is awesome if you're on a laptop or something that is not your general computer that you use all the time, but I generally like to use the actual software that you download on your computer. Once you have your Cricut Design Space open, we're gonna go to New Project. And from here, we're going to upload our images. Hit upload, we're going to browse. I like to, it doesn't really matter what order you add this in, but I like to do my background first. So we're gonna just upload that. I like to hit complex, and we're just going to check this and hit continue. And this is what you're looking for. Everything to be black here. So I'm going to say print then cut image. That's what we want to do, and hit upload. All right, so now we're going to do the same thing, but with our stickers that will be sitting on top of the sticker sheet. Add in my stickers, and we're going to add that in, hit complex, upload. Again, this is where you actually do want to make sure you check and take a look at everything. I've had with my first run of stickers, when this wasn't explained very well, what happened was I didn't notice, but there was little bits in here that I did not notice, and the Cricut went through and literally put little jaggedy marks all over the place. Make sure that it's a complete silhouette, there isn't any little openings anywhere, and that everything is nice and filled. And everything looks good here, and we're going to hit print then cut image and upload. Now, the next step we're going to want to do is be bringing in our background card and our sticker sheet together. Just need to select both of these images. I'm used to hitting shift for Photoshop, and then hit insert image. The first thing we're gonna wanna do is grab just your sticker sheet, and what I like to do is eyeball where I think this should be sitting on the sticker sheet. You can also go about moving it to where you want and even scaling it up a little bit just in case if you need. I don't care about this being a complete science, because to me that will totally take the fun out of things, but I know some people would be more interested in that, and that is totally fine. That is just not for me. So what I like to do after that is I will select both together just by holding the left mouse button down until you get this box, and then it will select both together. And then what I like to do is scale this down just a little bit so that we can actually work with this a little bit better. I like to select the BG card, duplicate this 4 times. Now this is something I learned from Catnip Illustrations. It has worked wonders for me. So you're gonna hit Control C and Control V 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Grab them and move them off to the side. With the new Cricut Design Space, it's a little bit more finagly than it was before, but let me run you through this. So we're going to select our 2 images that we originally made here, and we're going to hit attach. Now, what I also like to do is position this 1, and then you can just tab it and hit 1. Perfect. Now, the thing is with these images here, if you try and just move them over, I've had problems with this before where, as you can see, they don't stack properly. So what we're going to be doing instead is just drag them over to the side, and we're going to hit align, and we're going to hit align left, and then we're also going to hit align top. Now everything is perfectly aligned, and now we can grab all of the extra BGs and hit 1, tab 1. Now it perfectly sits on top of everything. We're going to select everything and hit attach. Do not hit weld. That literally, just as the image shows here, attaches the 2 images together, and it will only cut the outline. What we want to do is attach. Then from here, what we're going to do, it doesn't really matter where you place this anymore, but what I'm going to do is just move it up here and just hit Control C and Control V. And then we're going to align this up. And then we're going to, again, hit Control C, Control V. And we're going to be placing these down below. From here, we're going to just select everything, hit detach, and then select everything again and hit attach. The reason why we have to do it that way is the program is a little bit finagly when it comes to letting you attach everything together. We need to attach all these images together or else it will not cut out as one sheet. So it's very important that we cut this out as one. Now, as you can see here, it's saying here that it's something is wrong and it won't let us print. At this point in time, it's saying that the image is too large, so literally we just need to rescale it as according to what it says here. So what I like to do is go to the height and change it to 9.25. There we go. And as you can see, now it is the perfect size to print. Now we're going to, don't forget to save this. The last thing you want is your project not saving. And now we're going to hit make it. This is where we get our little preview window of what this is going to look like on the Cricut mat, and just hit continue. And we're going to be sending this to the printer. You're going to want to turn bleed off. I like to use system dialog and turn that on. So as it says here, it's important that sometimes it will appear behind your Cricut design space. I know that that happens more for if you have a Mac, so just be aware of that. And then your printer settings should come up. I'm going to be sending it to my Canon, Pixma, and I like to also go to my preferences. I have made my own sticker preferences, so definitely go ahead and make some yourself because this makes it super easy to select your different settings for future, depending on if you've got regular stickers, glossy, cardstock, if I'm just doing like a regular print or a draft. So it's nice to have these settings for later. So we're going to be doing the sticker, just regular matte sticker paper, and we're going to say okay and print. If your Cricut design space does not show your connected machine right away, just make sure to hit refresh or open up the drop down, and mine is being picked up right there. There are a couple different materials that I like to use when I'm printing, and I have found that using the copy paper is the perfect cutting settings, but you can always go to browse all materials and find which one works for you. You can also type in what you're looking for. Like I know a lot of people use the washi tape setting, but I find that the washi tape is not put enough pressure, I should say, onto the paper to fully cut it. So I say, for me personally, and again, everyone's machine might be different, so definitely look into playing around with your settings. There is going to be trial and error. Try using regular paper first when you're doing a test, and then moving into using your more expensive sticker paper because, you know, you don't want to waste the good stuff. So once you have found what works best for you, all you need to do is star your item here and then click on it here. You do have to make sure that you have your Cricut Air Explorer 2 set to custom, or else it will not let you pick your material settings because you can just pick it on the dial. So I'm going to be choosing the copy paper, and right now my pressure is set to default. When you're noticing that you're having to set things to more, it may be time for you to either sharpen your blade or time to get a new blade. Now it is time for us to send everything from the printer to the Cricut machine. This is the paper that I use. I use online labels. Oof. And this is a recycled matte paper, and this is the box, so you can take a snip of that if needed. This is an optional step, but what I like to do with all of my stickers, die cut or sticker sheets, is I like to add a little bit of an extra touch to it and just add in a little CandiWare logo on the very back, especially with die cuts because people can't see what your die cut is. Once it is printed, you want to put it on your Cricut mat. Now, I have heard mixed reviews on things like this, but I have not been able to get it to work personally. I like to make sure that it is lined up perfectly with the edges of where the line is on screen left. And then from there, it is time to load the Cricut. I find holding it just slightly like this is the perfect way to make sure that the Cricut is fed properly. Now it is time for us to cut our sticker. Once it's done, time to take it out with the little arrow button, and voila, you have your adorable, perfectly cut, die cut sticker sheets.
I hope you guys really enjoyed that. I hope you had a cozy cup of tea with you. And don't forget to give this video a big old thumbs up. Let me know what other tutorials you guys would like to see in the Etsy business series. Don't forget to hit the little bell so you'll keep up to date with what's going on my channel all the time. And thank you so much for sticking out with the video. I hope you guys learned a lot, and I will see you guys on the next one. See you, bye!